Good morning, everybody. Howdy, toddy. What about this? Are you ready? I like the energy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is JAMIL NORTHCUTT, and I get the distinct honor to welcome you guys to our Grove Stage program. So welcome. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here this morning. So I like to start before I introduce our MC today. It's kind of with a thought for the day. It's early morning. It's a cool, brisk day. The Lord has blessed all of us to be here, and I want you guys to remember this thought. Remember, people will judge you by your actions, not your intentions. You may have a heart of gold, but so does a hard-boiled egg. I'll let you peel that shell off a little bit later today. But remember this today as we go throughout the day. We got a lot of teams competing. Our SEC women's tennis team is competing for a championship today. Our baseball team has already got the lead on Arkansas. And we get a chance to see what Hugh Freeze is going to do today. I actually think the freeze is already in the air. What you think? All right. So, but before we get started, there's a lot of people that make these things happen on campus, and we want to make sure that we give them their just due. Obviously, you see Bancorp South. They're our sponsor for today. Please give them a round of applause. We have a lot of our M Club Alumni Association members here. You'll see them with their M Club jackets on. Give them a round of applause, please. A lot of people within our athletic department, they do a lot to make these things happen. Our athletic support staff, you'll see a lot of them around. Laura Webb is one I do want to acknowledge. Andre Harris is another I want to acknowledge. Jeremy Roberts, Brandon Hudspeth, Kyle Campbell, Mike again and his staff. They all do a great job. Michael Thompson, give them a round of applause, please. We have a dynamic director of event planning. Her name is Christine Wallace. So all the events that you join on campus, she puts those on. Give her a round of applause and her staff as well, please. And then probably some of the most important people that we have on this campus are our physical plant workers. They make sure that this grove is taken care of. They make sure that all the setup on campus gets done. I want to acknowledge the physical plant workers. Please give them a round of applause as well. Now I'm going to get out of the way because I believe in the 5 B's. For those of y'all know what the 5 B's are, it means be brief, brother, be brief. So I like to think my jokes are pretty funny because you're laughing. But I have the pleasure to introduce our MC for the day. And this person, in August of 2010, he launched Sports Talk, a syndicated sports talk radio show in Mississippi. He's worked the Ole Miss Network as a radio broadcaster, a play-by-play announcer, and a color commentator. In the television arena, you've seen him on Comcast Sports, Southeast, Cox Sports Television. And this past year, he served as a play-by-play announcer for Conference USA, the Sun Belt Conference, and the greatest conference in America, the Southeastern Conference. He is the recipient of 2 Mississippi Association Broadcasters Gold Awards and has worked for Fox Sports Radio, the Sporting News Radio Network. The sky is the limit for this guy. He's a very dynamic individual. So please give a thunderous welcome to the stage, one of our own Ole Miss graduate, Richard Cross.
That was a kind introduction. I'm not sure I've done all of that, but it's a great day to be here. Welcome to the Bancorp South Grove Bowl weekend. I know a bunch of it got started last night. Glad that you are in Oxford and on the Ole Miss campus. Enough about JAMIL and me and everybody else. Let's talk about why we're here. It's called NFL and Beyond. Former Ole Miss players are in record numbers making their way to the NFL, and it seems like it's happening just about every year. And this morning, 4 of our former Rebels who have gone to the NFL, some who are still playing, some who are not, we're just going to chat with them. We're going to get them to share some stories, talk about what they've done in the league, their thoughts, their remembrances from here at Ole Miss, and also what they're doing after football. So we'll start by introducing a guy that perhaps you've gotten a phone call from recently. If you have, he probably was hoping that you had your checkbook handy. Ronnie Hurd spent 7 years in the NFL, 5 of them with the San Francisco 49ers, 2 more years with the Atlanta Falcons. He's a graduate of the University of Mississippi. Spring 2000, he earned a bachelor's degree in management and general business. His wife, LaToya, and Ronnie live here in Oxford. They have 3 children, daughters Caitlin and Parker and their son Reed. And 2 years ago, Ronnie joined the UMAA Foundation to help grow these beautiful facilities we see here on campus. Ladies and gentlemen, Ole Miss legend, Ronnie Hurd.
Thank you, Richard. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for being here. My kids and my wife, hello.
Up next, currently working at the Southeastern Conference office in Birmingham as the Assistant Director of Championships. He was a 6th-round selection in the 2006 NFL Draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. Played during the 2008 season with the Baltimore Ravens, helping the team make the playoffs in the AFC Championship game. 4-year letter winner at Ole Miss, Trey Stallings finished with a streak of 48 consecutive starts, which ties for the record for an Ole Miss Rebel. He was the first-team All-SEC selection by the coaches during his senior year in 2005. Ladies and gentlemen, Ole Miss legend Trey Stallings. Tell him good morning, Trey. Opposite Ronnie. There we go. Right there in front of your picture. Number 70. There we go.
He doesn't even remember what he used to look like. This guy's looking phenomenal. Hey, that's what weight loss do for you.
STACY Andrews most recently was an offensive guard on the New York Giants. They won a Super Bowl, by the way. He was drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals in the 4th round of the 2004 NFL Draft. While at Ole Miss, Andrews competed for the Rebel track and field team as a thrower, never competed in football until his senior year at Ole Miss. Went on to be drafted in 2004 by the Bengals. He's played with 4 teams in the NFL, including the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks. He is the older brother of offensive lineman Shane Andrews, getting married coming up this summer. Couple of boys. Ladies and gentlemen, Ole Miss legend STACY Andrews. I forgot to mention Trey Stallings' wife, Kim, and his daughter, Kaylee. With a wife and a daughter, I know that's important to get that in. Our final legend this morning, during his years at Ole Miss, Eli Manning set or tied 45 single-season and career records, 10,119 yards passing. That's 5th in the SEC. 81 touchdowns. That's 3rd in the SEC. In his senior campaign in 2003, he led the Rebels to a 10-3 record, a 31-28 win in the Cotton Bowl over Oklahoma State. He won the Maxwell Award and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. In 8 years in the NFL, 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVP trophies. Ladies and gentlemen, Eli Manning. There's one other Rebel not on the stage with us today, but we would like to recognize him. He was an outstanding offensive lineman, made contributions on and off the field, has gone on to have a successful career in the NFL. Everybody remember Chris Spencer? All right, Chris with us today as well. And you know, Ross Bjork, new athletic director on the stage with us. We'll get to him in just a little while. All right, guys, who wants to talk first? We're going to jump in with Ronnie Hurd, who's got that big smile on his face down on the end. Ronnie, you played 7 years in the NFL, spent time with the 49ers and with the Falcons. You got your degree, and one of the things that we want to focus on today is not just what you did on the field, but some of the things that you were able to do off the field. So we'll just start this with a fundraising pitch. You came back to Ole Miss and are now working in the UMAA Foundation. Let's start right there. What equipped you from football to have success in your current role?
With anything you do in life, the passion and the drive to want to see something grow and be special. That's why we're all here today. We love Ole Miss. We want to see it be as special as it can ever be. That's why I came back to lend my hand and making this place be what I believe it can be. That's one reason in 1995, I chose this place over other various institutions. And I still feel the same way today. I will always love this place. I'll always do what I can to see this place grow and be the best it can be.
You know, every SEC school thinks that they don't always get a fair shake from referees, and they think the SEC is out to get them sometimes. Surely we know that that's not actually true. But one way to combat that is to make sure that you got representation in the Southeastern Conference's headquarters. Trey Stallings, that's just how you... That's good. That's how you wanted me to introduce you today, right? That's how you wanted me to start. Trey Stallings is working now in the Southeastern Conference. It's a great organization. The people that are there are second to none. I've had the chance to get to know a lot of the guys that work in the league office. Tell everybody a little bit about that experience so far, because this is still relatively new for you to be working in the league office.
It is new. It's more about basically recreating an identity. Basically, you play football your entire life, and so when you step into a different, basically, arena, you have to know how to perform. And I think me being at Ole Miss, me working in different capacities, really equipped me to do the job that I'm doing now, which is basically working with every sport, not just football.
Stacey Andrews, do people really believe it when you tell them you didn't play football in high school? That you didn't until you got to the end of your college career?
No, they'd be shocked.
So am I, to be honest with you. Even as we sit here today, explain to us how it is that happened, that you didn't go the football route until this point late in your college career, and it's turned out to be a pretty good decision, by the way.
Yes, you know what my thing was, I figured I'd be in the NBA. I love basketball, and, coming
I
out.
assume you were going to play center.
Yeah, exactly. Point guard. I got handles too, so.
Magic, Stacey Andrews.
But yeah, you know what? I regret not giving it a shot in high school because the coaches tried to get me out every year, and I kept putting it off, and never played. And I didn't want to leave college doing the same thing. I didn't want to leave college regretting not giving it a shot. So I, went out and did it, and everything worked out.
The real reason I think he saw that big contract his brother signed the year before at the NFL. And he said, you know what? I might give this a shot.
How'd that turn out for you?
It turned out pretty good.
Yes. Not so bad. He's a free agent, by the way. There's another one of those deals coming down the pipe here before much longer. Eli, you grew up in New Orleans. You played college football here at Ole Miss. You live in one of the great cities anywhere in the world, and yet you chose to come back and make your home in Oxford. Why Oxford?
Just such a special place. Obviously, my time in college here, the 4.5 years, loved every second of it. Loved the university. Loved Oxford. Grew up when I was young, coming up here for games and being in the Grove and running around. And Abby and I, this is where we met and in college. And so we just we wanted to come back here and spend time. And when you live in New York and just crowded and fast paced and constant congestion, it's nice to get back to Oxford and have a little space, a little room. We have a lot of friends and family here, and just love the people and love the town and love Ole Miss.
And this year you have to deal with a little bit of a shorter off season, not as much time in Oxford. You were busy a little longer this year.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. So I don't that's what I was back. We started workouts last week, and I was sitting there with Coach Coughlin, and he's kind of complaining. He said, we're just behind. Everybody got had a head start on us, and we haven't broke down all the film yet. We hadn't done this. I said, Coach, what would you rather it be? You want us to lose in January and so you have an extra month? He's like, no, it's not what I'm saying. I said, well, then don't say anything. This is what you want. You start complaining about, playing until February, then you got issues going on.
Next year we'll try and go 7-9, Coach. Thanks. Well, what's it like playing for Tom Coughlin? Because he has that persona on the outside, and it felt like it softened maybe just a little bit after the second Super Bowl win, but he just kind of looks like a crusty guy on the outside.
Coach Coughlin is he's a great person, and he kind of has two different sides to him. He has an off season where you see him smile, you can have a real conversation to him. Then he has that in season personality where he's got that tunnel vision, and it's just preparation and football and getting to work. And his biggest thing is that he harps on and that he stresses about is this team going to be fully prepared? Have we gone over every single possibility that might occur in the game, every blitz, every look, and are you prepared? Are the players watching enough film? We're getting enough guys practicing, all those things. And I think he's finally realized that we've had a lot of great leaders on our team, guys who've been around for a number of years. Myself, Dave Deal, a couple other guys. Who've been there for 8 years, and I think he's realized that, these guys are prepared. They do their work. They do everything during the week to get themselves ready to play the game. So he's not as worried about that, and I think that's kind of what's helped him loosen up a little bit, and now he may crack that smile during the football season every once in a while.
Trey, we're going to come down. We're going to start with you. I want to start with your time at Ole Miss, the most memorable college game that you had. Then we'll kind of come back down the line. And we'll talk about the pro career and hit the most memorable game you've played in and why. So let's start with your SEC career, your career at Ole Miss, the game that stands out to you most that you played in.
Even though we lost this game.
That's not the best way to start the story.
But it was the most memorable experience. I remember this place basically being packed. I mean, packed to capacity where it took us almost an hour to walk through the Grove. And this was 2003, basically when we was playing LSU, basically for the SEC championship. Well, West championship, that is.
It would have been for the whole title.
What's that?
It would have been for all the marbles.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Stacy, what about you? Which game stands out to you?
I would say in 2003, the Auburn game. Also, when I had the block Reggie Torboy.
Was there an exciting finish in that game? I'm trying to remember how that one ended. Eli, what about you? Most memorable game from your time at Ole Miss?
I think going down to LSU my sophomore year and having a fourth quarter comeback in Baton Rouge at night, beating LSU is always a good one. There's been going down to Florida, winning a game in the swamp in Florida. And like Stacy said, that Auburn game, I know that was a fun one. I remember, Trey was playing left tackle. He got a little banged up. Stacy had to come in and play, and he hadn't played a whole lot. I remember on the sideline, talking to him, when Auburn's about to go down and score, I said, we're going to get the ball back with 40 seconds. We're going to have to do a 2-minute drive here. And I'm trying to explain to Stacy how the 2-minute drive works. And, what the cadence, what are checks. And he's kind of just looking at me. His eyes are real big. And he's like, all right, I think I got it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I was just praying that they didn't score a touchdown. But I knew he would do fine. But, luckily that guy, he dropped it in the end zone, and we didn't have to go back out there and score another touchdown.
Ronnie, Trey mentioned a home game. Stacy and Eli both went with road games. What about you?
I might have to agree with Stacy and Eli. Road game, 1997, LSU. That was the first time we were bowl eligible, coming off probation, and that was kind of our coming out party. My brother.
You folks remember that game?
My brother, who caught a touchdown, who's now coaching on staff here. I remember just smoking cigars on the field after the game. It was one of the most memorable. I know that's probably some kind of violation at the time, but we.
Trey, if you could leave that here in the Grove and not take that back to Birmingham with you, that'd be good.
Sorry, Trey. earmuffs. It was just one of the most memorable moments, just going into that place and beating those guys. They had just beat Florida, who was #1 at the time the week before, and so to go in and beat those guys at that point in time was absolutely phenomenal. And then 1999, my last year here, going to Auburn, Tuberville had just abandoned us all. So a little redemption, go down there and beat them pretty bad and handily. So those are my two greatest, fondest memories.
That was as good an Ole Miss road crowd as I've ever seen. To be in an 85,000 seat stadium on the road and see that kind of a crowd in their place, one of those things that will stand about. What about from the NFL? We'll just stay with you and kind of work back this way. Any one game from your time in the league that stands out?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm the only guy that ever caught 3 picks in one game. I hope I am. Boy, that would be my fondest memory.
What year? Who was it against?
It was against Arizona. It was 2002. And Jake Plummer, who was out of my 9 career picks, I got 6 from him. So
Is he on your Christmas card list now?
Yes, he got one every year. Family, as they grew, he got one. I think I'm still giving him Christmas cards.
That's good.
But that would be my most memorable game. I mean, the ball just looked huge every time he threw it, so I just plucked it out the air.
Eli, is it too easy to guess that one of the 2 Super Bowls, or is there something else?
You know, obviously, those are the ones, the Super Bowl and winning a championship. But you know, one that besides that, I would have to say 2007 season. You know, in Green Bay for the NFC Championship game when it's negative 21 degrees and you know, playing against Brett Favre and you know, at Lambeau Field, that's pretty special. And overtime, kicking a field goal to win that game and to go to your first Super Bowl was a fun plane ride home from Green Bay. I'll tell you that.
I think Tom Coughlin's still cold from that game.
Yeah, he definitely had frostbite on his face or something. Something. You know, at halftime, he's talking to us at halftime and you know, trying to give us a speech, go over corrections. I was just looking at him the whole time, just worried. You know, what is going on? Something is not right. I didn't listen to one word he said. I could not focus on the words. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, if he needed some help or medical attention.
What about you, Stacey?
I would say the Super Bowl, even though I didn't get a chance to play in it, you know, with my situation as far as, you know, the blood clots or whatnot, but I would say the Super Bowl.
We'll circle back to that in just a second.
Okay.
Trey?
For me, it would be pretty much the game I played in, actually. I actually played behind 2 future Pro Bowlers in Will Shields and Brian Waters. But during my second year, I actually played against the New York Jets, which was a memorable experience because I actually played in the game. So
there you go. Hey, different games stand out for different reasons. Stacey, you had a scare last year. You were being Mr. Football tough guy. And Eli may want to chime in on this as well. Serious deal, blood clot in your lungs.
Yes.
How did you discover it? When did you realize that it was serious? Because I read an article about this just this morning, and I read in the article you're in the hospital saying, "Guys, just give me a pain shot and let me go play."
Yeah, man. You know, the night that I went in, it was the night of we were supposed to play Green Bay Sunday, and I went in Saturday night to the hospital, and I just, you know, basically told them, you know, is it serious, if whatnot, and I was like, just give me a shot, let me go down, and let me, basically I wanted to play. I wanted to play the next day. You know, I didn't care. You know, I focused hard that week at practice, and man, I was ready to go out there regardless.
So in finding out that you can't play, take us through the emotion of that after a season of preparation, and obviously you want to be on the field, but emotionally, how do you deal with that?
I mean, it was hard, you know, because I got a chance to play with my quarterback Eli up there, my college quarterback. It was a great experience while being there, and it was just hard. It was a hard pill to swallow, you know, when they came in there and told me that I'm sorry, but you have to stay here overnight, and that was my first time in my life I had ever, you know, been to the hospital for anything, you know, then too to stay overnight, so, you know, it was a hard pill to swallow.
Eli, what was the team's reaction when they found out?
You know, I'll tell you how I found out, and you know, it was Sunday up, you know, playing Green Bay, and so, you know, we had a good week of practice. Everybody's healthy, you're feeling good, and and Stacy was playing. He was coming in, playing situations in our backup guard and playing tackle some. So he was kind of that sixth offensive lineman, but playing a good bit in the game for short yardage and different things. So all of a sudden that Sunday, the trainer comes to me and says, your center David Boss is having some issues. He's not going to play this game. So he practiced all week. He's there Saturday. He's not playing. I said, okay, well that's not good, but we'll move Boothie and Stacy will play left guard, right? And he goes, no, Stacy's in the hospital with a blood clot. I was like, he was just here yesterday. What happened? So that's how I found out. So I said, now we've got two guys out, and we're at to play a brand new guy who's never played in a game at left guard for this game. But that's how I found out. The next day, kind of realized how serious it was, and how fortunate they found it. And obviously, I kind of remember during the week, Stacy kind of complaining about his ribs hurting, and he took a shot, and offensive linemen, they always have that mentality, hey, I'll tough it out, I'll get a shot before the game, take away the pain, and I'll deal with it later. But fortunately he was smart enough to get this looked into, and found the clot and got it fixed up, and unfortunately he didn't get to come back and help us through our run. But it was great to have him on the team this year, and it was a big help and helped us win a lot of games.
It seems to me that those of us who have not played at the level that you guys have played at don't understand or can't understand that the toll that the game of football takes on your body. We know there are all kinds of discussions about concussions and all of that's out there. Let's stay away from that just for a second, but trying to explain, and Trey, we'll start with you, the physical toll that playing in the SEC and in the NFL takes on your body. Because you guys all look pretty good.
It does. You look at the fact that when you go to a doctor's appointment now, they say you got arthritis in both your knees. You can't lift your shoulders up. And we talking about young men, basically 27, 28. I'm 29. And, you just start having, you have problems at a very young age, and you just have to learn how to deal with it. But at any rate, I think it goes back to what Eli just said. We tough guys. And we going to suck it up regardless.
I'm not a tough guy.
And clearly humble, too.
If I'm hurt, I'm hurt. I'm not playing. I'm not going to tough it out. I'm kind of a prima donna. I'm cold right now. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like cold weather. Never have, never will. That's just my nature.
That's that DB in you.
I really don't care. I know I'm a man. You can say what you want, but I'm not going to tough it out.
Which one of these guys on stage do you think has clotheslined Jerry Rice? Ronnie, I believe you got some explaining to do to another pretty good player in his own right.
It was my rookie year, 2000. I'm a free agent. It's, they're transitioning. Steve Young just retired from concussions and that whole deal. Jeff Garcia is taking over the helm. It's Jerry's last year. We're going to send him off on a big hoorah. We had 13 draft picks, and we end up throughout the year, 19 different rookies at some point in time started a game. But it was practice after the draft. It was mini camp. They decided to put me in against the one. So I'm lined up on the same side as Jerry Rice. My heart's beating about 1,000 miles an hour. I can't really think, but I'm trying to process the information as fast as I can. And so I'm lined up, and the corner who was a rookie, first round draft pick, I'm communicating to him, hey, they're going to run a slant. Jerry's running a slant. I tell the linebacker, who's also a rookie, hey, Jerry, they're about to run a slant. So they run the play. Jeff Garcia, 3-step drop back. He steps back. I see it. I read it. I break downhill. The corner reads it, so he's breaking from the outside. The linebacker, who I just told, is breaking from there's really nowhere for Jerry to go. So Jerry's running at me, and I'm running at Jerry, and I'm thinking to myself, we don't have any pads on, so let's figure out a way to get out of this situation. So me being the smart guy I am, I put my right arm out to try to catch Jerry, but momentum and physics say if he's going this way and you're going that way, something bad is going to happen. So I end up clotheslining Jerry Rice on accident. I quickly picked him up, as quickly as I could. And typical Jerry, he got up, ran 70 yards as fast as he could, came back, took the next rep. But in between him running and me hiding in the defensive huddle, because Steve Mariucci, who was the head coach at the time, was going rampant. I don't even want to say the words he was using that day, but I was a rookie, so I had my name heard across my helmet, and I'm bent down in the back of the huddle. I'm 6'3", so I can't really hide. Jim Moore is the defensive coordinator. He's telling everybody what a great job we did, and defense we're winning, and I'm hiding. I'm not really listening to him. I'm trying to avoid Mariucci, who's looking for me. So they're going over, they're calling the next defensive play, and next thing I know, the defensive huddle parts like the Red Sea, and it's Mariucci looking at me eye to eye while I'm bent down like, "Was that you, Herb?" And I looked at him, I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "As long as I'm here and he's here or any other wide I hear, you will never, ever in your life touch another wide." And I said, "God, I'm going home tonight. I am on the plane going back home tonight. I'm going to call my dad to pick me up at the airport." I really don't know. I apologize to Jerry, who I was calling Mr. Rice after that incident, about 1,000,000 times, telling him, please don't let him send me home. I didn't mean it. My defensive coordinators, even Mariucci, I was telling Mooch, please, I didn't. I really, so that would be my one and only story about Jerry Rice that I clotheslined, a Hall of Famer. I don't know why.
Is he on the Christmas card list too?
Yes. And he gets a fruit cake and a fruit basket.
You should try the Jelly of the Month Club.
I probably should.
Apparently when you win the Super Bowl MVP, they hand you the keys to the Batmobile. Where is that black Corvette?
I have it. I've been cruising it around town a little bit. You know, you don't have to take that exact car. You get to kind of pick and choose what you want. So,
but wouldn't it be cooler if you actually drove it off the field?
Yeah, it would be. In my shoulder pads and cleats, that
would have been beautiful.
You know, stick shift car would have been a little tough. So, they got on me a little bit. I guess I was supposed to take the keys right up there on the platform. I didn't really take them, and then when I did take them, I gave them to my daughter who was sitting there, and she was chewing on them, and eventually lost the keys anyway. So, I was worried the car might get stolen, so I just find the keys, jump in the car, and just and drive it off themselves.
Just drive it right out of the stadium. Yeah, nobody would ever notice. Trey, when you were in Baltimore, you had a guy in a locker next to you that most people look at as perhaps the most intense defensive player in all the NFL. And because of some of the things that have happened in his past, there are a lot of people that don't give him the benefit of the doubt. Your experience with Ray Lewis was a little bit different, though, than probably those of us who haven't had the chance to really know him.
You're talking about just a phenomenal person, a person who cares more about other people than himself. I think that's one thing that people need to understand about Ray Lewis. What you see on TV is a person who's just passionate about football. But at the end of the day, when we're out doing tour days, Ray Lewis is the last person to leave the field from signing autographs. Nobody really sees that, nobody really knows that, but the people in Baltimore, like ordinary fans who are watching on TV, don't realize how passionate this guy is about just serving in a capacity where, God is being recognized through his works, through what he do. So me having the privilege and the opportunity to sit beside him and pick his brain about different things was a great opportunity for me, and it's something I'll never forget.
Stacy, you're a free agent. Don't know if you'll be back in New York or somewhere else next year. It's been, a little over a month now since the free agency became official.
Right.
What's next for you?
Well, man, I'm just, I've had a couple of calls so far, but I want to wait to see how the draft goes and then make my decision after that. Then too, with us winning the Super Bowl, I'm thinking, maybe it's time to move on and do something else.
That'd be very John Elway of you.
Because I want to get into coaching track and field, what I did when I came here. Yeah, so. So hang it up now? I mean, or still toying with the idea? I'm really trying to pin you down here. I'm going to probably end up playing 2 more, man, and because, my body aches even though I hadn't been in pads for like 4 or 5 months or so, but, and I guess it's because I play basketball on the hardwood court every day, too, so that's not helping out.
you got to give up on that whole point guard thing. It's not happening at this point. Be on at the rec center. So plans after football, and obviously, Ronnie, you're in the foundation. You're trying to raise money. Campaign's going really well. Bigger career plans beyond this. What do you want to see? How do you want to grow?
I just want to grow here, and as long as I would love to stay here.
You like how I asked that with your boss sitting right next to me, right?
Just
I'm
trying to
helping
throw
you,
him a
man.
bone.
I'm just trying to help you.
I would love to stay here.
Sell yourself.
I'm a seller. I'm a seller. I don't like the cold weather though, Ross. I don't.
It does feel like homecoming today as opposed to the spring game.
That's right. I love this place. I would love to stay here and be a part of this wonderful family we have here at Ole Miss as long as possible, to see this place and take this place to a new platform. I would love to do that. I would love to be here. And that's kind of my long-term goal, just kind of elevating and be a vessel for you guys, the fans, who need anything from me as far as tickets, raising money, where is it going? I want to be the person you can lean on and talk to.
Trey, what about you? You're in the SEC office, relatively new to that position. You were an intern, or not an intern, but a fellow with the Pac-12 conference, and so is it athletic administration from here on out?
I believe so. What it does, working in that capacity allows you to have the ability to serve. And from where I stand in my life right now, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to serve people and basically serve our student athletes. And so when I look at my job now as being the sport administrator for track and field, is how can I better serve our student athletes when they're at a championship? How can I do things, how can I implement things basically to make their experience better? So the mentality of servanthood, having the mentality of just doing things out of the ordinary to make the experience greater for our student athletes. So that's my focus. That's what I want to do, stay in administration and move forward.
Stacey, you said you'd like to be a track and field coach. Are we thinking at the high school level where you're really on the front end of shaping kids? At the college level, do you want to be with USA Track and Field? What are we talking about?
Well, you know what? I even, talked to my old coach, Coach Wibbs, about possibly competing, because actually, like,
oh, really?
like 4 years ago when I came up, they were in the facilities throwing the weight implement, and I went out and beat my old record, and I didn't have any technique at all. So I'm thinking about possibly coming back and doing a little.
So in your bio, it says you were a thrower. What all did you throw?
The discus, hammer, and the weight.
So none of those like Ironman competitions where you're throwing the keg over the wall?
No.
That's not available in the SEC, is it, for track and field?
Not at all.
Didn't know if that'd be a good workout for you or not.
Even though I thought about doing that, I watch it on TV at night.
You'd have to probably change your name. I mean, you would have to become Magnus Vermagnus Andrews if you wanted to do that. Eli, what about you? I mean, I'm assuming you'd like to play football a little longer.
Yeah, definitely want to continue to play football. There's been a few guys over the years I've seen, in the locker room and teammates, and they talk about they have their little, second business that they're preparing for after their career, and I kind of looked at them and I said, don't take this the wrong way, but you're not doing your primary job all that well. You might be doing that second job full time but it's a little sooner than you expect. And so I just said, I'm focusing on football. This is what I love to do. I want to do it as long as my body will let me, and I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm playing my best football right now. And so whenever I get done. Whenever I get done, I'll figure out what's next. The word that I really like, I'm not quite sure what it means, but being a consultant. I kind of like the sound of that. It sounds like you just kind of tell people what to do, and they pay you for it. And you don't really have, besides that, I don't know what else that entails. But I like the ring to that. So I'm looking to be a consultant.
You think you think you could get in the door if you had a business card that said Manning Consulting?
I think so. I think my business degree here at Ole Miss will help that also.
When did the dream begin to be in the NFL? Ronnie, I'll start with you. But because, and I ask that because I mean, we're sitting here on a college campus. For a lot of guys, they never get the opportunity to go play in the SEC. And for a lot of guys that do get that opportunity, the dream stops here, and it was a great experience. But it seems like everybody that plays competitively thinks of going to the major leagues of whatever their sport is. When did that dream begin for you?
That dream began, and like you said, it was a dream when I was 8 years old playing Pop Warner Little League football, running around, being a fullback, thinking I was going to be the next Walter Payton. Clearly that didn't work out for me. But it began there, and only thing I did at the time, it was a dream. I wanted to go from Pee Wee football to being the best middle school football player I could be. And then I went from there to being the best high school player I could be. And then, you know, that ultimately led me to being the best SEC Ole Miss football player I could be, which ultimately led me to going to the next level and reaching my dream of ultimately playing in the NFL and I just lived out my dream. And so to all the kids and young people out here, don't dare to dream. You can put your mind to your fullest potential and you can reach your dream.
Eli, a little unique for you in the household that you grew up in?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like Ronnie said. I think at every stage, it wasn't so much the goal to get to the NFL. It's just at every stage of football that I was in, I wanted to be the best I could be at that. You know, I was in high school. I wanted to win a state championship in high school. I wanted to, you know, become a better quarterback, become a better player with my buddies, and work with them to try to just, you know, win more games and play at a higher level. And when you start getting letters and recruited, and you say, you know what, I love to go play college football. That's you know, grew up going to college football games here, and said that would be an awesome experience. And I'm gonna, you know, when I get there, I'm gonna attack that. I'm gonna go and work extremely hard and try to just be the best. You know, try to earn that starting quarterback job and try to become the best player I can be. And when you start getting, you know, kind of you know, looked at from NFL teams and you know you're going to get drafted, it's kind of just taking that next step and trying to work hard and to you know, become the best at your job at what you're doing.
Stacy, I'm really curious as to how you answer this.
Well, you know, like I said earlier, my goal was to be in the NBA, and you know.
I'm sorry life didn't really work out for you.
You know, and Shaquille O'Neal was, I wanted to be like Shaquille O'Neal.
You know, throwing the discus really was preparing you for that NBA career too.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty dominant in the paint, so you know, I watch.
He's not listening to me.
No, I was, you know, when I tried football out, my goal wasn't to, you know, be in the NFL. I was just wanting to try it out, you know, so I can say I accomplished that. You know, so that was my thing. But once I started getting once I got the invite to the combine, that's when I knew I had a chance, and that's when everything started, you know, clicking right there.
What about it, Trey?
For me, it probably 3 or 4 years old when I just thought about football, just because my dad did it. My dad played in the National Football League, so just having that, it really just set the stage. It set me up where even at a young age, I mean, my dad had me out running when I was 12 years old. I couldn't start playing football until I was 13 because I was 270 pounds in the 7th grade. And that's just too big to play Pee Wee.
You fell victim to the "you're too big a kid to play" rule.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't help it. I like to eat. What can you say? But yeah, definitely. Just watching my dad, watching him play, definitely just set the stage, and he kind of prepared me to just be the best player. No matter if it was high school, college, NFL, you just want to be the best. So.
Final thing for each of you. We'll just go down the line, and we're a little close on time, so we'll wrap it up. Obviously, by being here today, you care about Ole Miss. You want to see this university grow. You want to see success on the football field and in all areas of the university. You've given to the university just if for no other reason in playing here. And Trey, we'll start with you on this and just work our way down. What's your vision for the future of Ole Miss football and for the university as it continues to grow?
I mean, the sky's the limit. When you look at the people who are now in place at Ole Miss, I mean, you just get goosebumps. I get excited thinking about the opportunity that we have to move forward as a university. At the end of the day, we are Ole Miss, period, point blank. It's the Rebel Nation. And as long as we can continue to come together, surround each other, lock arms, and push forward, man, we can accomplish anything we put our mind to.
Stacey, what do you want to see for Ole Miss?
We have the right pieces to the puzzle in here, and man, I just want to see it grow. I mean, it is growing, and I hadn't been here in a few years, so I mean, I look around and see we have a
welcome home.
We have the thank you. So I mean, we got a bunch of good group of guys, man, and I just want to see it grow, and I'm excited to come back and watch this game today, man.
Eli?
Yeah, well, same thing. Just excited about Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is entering some changes and great changes for the university. Hugh Freeze and their new coaching staff, obviously, have got to be around them a bunch, and they're doing a great job. Ross BJORK, getting to know him, and excited about what he's going to bring and the direction he's going to, get Ole Miss start heading back the right way and get us back on top where we need to be.
Ronnie will be around the corner with a box for you to deposit your checks in before you leave. Ronnie, what's your vision for Ole Miss? That's pretty good.
I'm a DB. My motto is, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
What do you want to see for this school?
The reason I came back is because I had a profound vision for this place. When I came in '95, as I explained to y'all earlier, I chose this place. I guess real briefly, I'll tell you how I got here. I was getting recruited by a guy I had never met from Minnesota. He had convinced me to take a trip to Minnesota. I took my trip, but he wasn't there. He called me like 3 weeks later and said, hey, how you doing? I was like, hey, I came up there. Where were you at? And he's like, well, I took a job at Ole Miss as the offensive coordinator. And I was like, Ole Miss? He was like, yeah, SEC. And he had told me all these great things about Minnesota. It's the land of 10,000 lakes, and they got the biggest mall in America. And as soon as he was here, it was like, you don't want to go over there. It's cold. It's far away from home. I did a map quest for you already. It's like 10 hours from door to door, from Houston to here. So he convinced me to come take my last final visit here, and it was like 2 weeks before signing period. And he came down, and I was in basketball shape and running around, and he said, I'll tell you what. He said, you know where you want to go to school? And I said, I knew I wanted to come here, but I said, nah, I really don't know at this moment. He said, well, I'll play you a game of 1-on-1 to 10, and if I beat you, you come to Ole Miss. You're a man of your word. And I said, yes, sir, I'm a man of my word. He said, if I beat you, you come to Ole Miss. I said, older guy, white, bald-headed. I figured I'm in basketball shape. All right, I'll take that challenge. He had the old school game. I wasn't used to the whole backing you down. He beat me by 1. So his name was Noah Mazzoni. I still talk to him. I still love him to death. He's like part of my family now, part of my life. But I just, this place has grown so much since then till now. With our new AD being here, sky's the limit. So everybody jump on board, and don't be the person that says, oh, I should have been there from the beginning. Get on board now, because when this thing happens, it takes off. I want you to be a part of as much as everybody up here on this panel.
Trey Stallings, Stacey Andrews, Eli Manning, Ronnie Hurd. If you'll hang tight just for a second, new Ole Miss Athletic Director Ross BJORK's got a special presentation.
Good afternoon. Thanks everybody for being here today. It's football weather, right? Absolutely. I can assure I will not guarantee that we will win any amount of games in my tenure, but I can guarantee that we'll win today. Right? The Rebels will win today, and Coach Freeze will stay undefeated. But we're excited that you're here. The Grove is happening.
year-round, and it's world famous, and we're going to capture this magic and bring it over to Vaught Hemingway every single Saturday and sell that place out. What I want to do is I want to thank these gentlemen for being here today, and they said something that I could all attack them with. Ronnie, how much money have you raised today? Have you raised any money today? Okay, there you go, there you go. But we want to thank Ronnie Hurd with a gift of our appreciation. You know, it's hard to really get after a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he's a jokester, as I found out in depth last night. But, you know, we do have volunteer consultants, Eli, because I've seen your contract, and I don't think we can afford you, but Eli Manning. Stacy, we do have a track and field job open. If you really want to coach in the Southeastern Conference in track and field, we can sign you up. But thanks for being here, Stacy. And Trey, we expect you to meet with the officials before they head out on the road every Thursday before they get to Oxford or wherever we're playing, now that you're at the SEC office. Thank you, Trey. That's it, everyone. Enjoy the game. We'll see you soon. Thank you.